All right. Well, it was a good week for us last week. We had two games to play, and we were at Fresno. And there's all these analytical guys out there that give you a percentage of how to win or your opportunity to win the game or not. And I think at Fresno we were like a 7% chance to win on one of the analytical guys. So there's a chance. There's a chance. 7% chance to win. That's a chance. You're saying there's a chance, right? So, and we won that game. We were up 3 at half, extended it to 17. They cut it to 1, and we hung on and won by 3. Correct? Yeah, 3. And a really good game for our guys to win on the road. Fresno was in second place in the league at that time. Now they're in fourth. They were 19-6 and looking for that next game against Nevada to get to first place. And I thought we played pretty well defensively. It was an ugly game early. No one could score. But eventually we made some baskets the second half and expanded that lead. And then they start going Hack-a-Walker. Not Hack-a-Shack, but Hack-a-Walker, A.J. Walker, our freshman. They start fouling them. As my mother called me later that day and left a message and kept saying she loves our team. But she goes, why did you keep giving him the ball? He kept missing the free throws. Mommy's a good free throw shooter, and he was open, and we missed some free throws. We made our last 5, and we won that game. So that was a great road win for us. So I thought last week was a big week for our program. That was a game that maybe we don't win, and people didn't expect us to win, and we did. And then we come home against San Jose State, and I think it was flipped. I think they had a 7% chance to win here. So you could nullify everything you did on Wednesday night if you slip up a little bit Saturday against a team maybe you have an opportunity to beat. And I thought we did pretty well. We jumped out early, 23 at half, a little sluggish in the second half, and that's a credit to them because of what they did and cut it to 12, I believe, right? 12, and then we hung on and won by 14. So it was a good win for us because maybe a game you weren't supposed to win on the road, you did, and it moved your program in a direction in a game you're supposed to win at home, and you did. So that was big for us. And now we're sitting in 6th place in the Mountain West Conference if the season would end today and you went to the tournament, and that's pretty good for us right now. And we have a bye on Wednesday. So Wednesday will be a good day, a really good day, because we don't play. And then we're going to work out today and tomorrow and do some lifting and some individual workouts, and then prep Thursday, Friday, and then bus up to Wyoming. And we have 3 more games left, 2 on the road at Laramie and Wyoming on Saturday, and then the following Saturday at Boise State. And then we have the big game in between Tuesday night against, I don't know where they're ranked today because they went 1-1 last week. Nevada lost their second game of the year. But a really, really good Nevada team here to finish out our home schedule. So it was a good weekend. The weekend before, we lost to Utah State, and our daughter came down from Denver, and after the game, she was in the house, I guess, but I guess I didn't say a word to her because she reminded me this week that I didn't talk to anybody after the Utah State game for 2 days, and she's probably right. And then we won, and, heck, I took her out to eat on Saturday. So it's a big difference when you win a game or lose a game. It's amazing how your whole coaching lifestyle is screwed up. I mean, everything's based on a win or a loss, and that's ridiculous. But since November, December, January, February, March, I mean, we have a downstairs, and that's where I usually watch TV. Downstairs, and I go down every morning because the treadmill's down there. So but I haven't sat down there and watched TV since Christmas Eve because I watched Christmas Vacation on Christmas Eve. Yesterday I went downstairs and watched TV. So that was the first time in 2 months. So that's just because we won. I mean, that's stupid, right? It's stupid, but that's how we are as coaches. We lose, we bury ourselves in the office or at home. We don't talk to anybody. We don't do anything, and then we win. Everything's good. So that's where we're at. Any questions on anything?
So I got to follow up the treadmill. Has that seen any action?
Oh, yeah. No, it does. This morning I was there 6:05. 6:05 I was on the treadmill. It wasn't cranking real fast this morning. The knees were a little cranky. The knees were sore a little bit. But, yeah, I got to. That's where I do all my thinking, down there. So at times my wife smells something burning. She thinks, what's going on down there? That's where I do my thinking.
So I think it was 2 weeks ago. You had won a couple of games,
Yeah.
and you said it's time to move forward.
Yes.
And you guys took a step back.
We did.
Do you reemphasize that this week?
Yeah. As we finish up the last 3 games, okay, we're not going backwards. We can't go backwards. We got to keep moving forward. And a lot of that's being healthy, and I think we are pretty much that. We had some sniffles last week, but everyone does it this time of year. So we've got to be prepared and go play Wyoming on the road. It's another road win. They have one of the better players in the league, and he's capable of getting 30. I think he had high 20s on Saturday. But we've got to finish strong. You're right. And we can't slip up and come backwards. We want to keep moving forward. And we got 3 more games left. Let's see where we're at. We have 7 conference wins right now, and that's the most since 13, right? And I guess you have a chance to win 3 more, and that would be awesome. And let's just see how much more we can improve and get better as we go into Las Vegas. I think if you throw Nevada out there, but we saw that they had 2 close games last week and lost one. Everyone else is like we beat the second. San Diego State's now in second, right? Or third, but third. So Fresno was in second, we beat them. San Diego State's in third, we beat them. UNLV's in fourth, we beat them. So we've beaten some people ahead of us. So you never know what you can do when you get to that weekend. So yes, getting back to that, let's continue to keep improving and not go backwards.
And Wyoming, how do I phrase this? They've got a student manager dressing, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're a little down this year.
They
How
are
do you get
because
your
of
guys to
injuries.
stay focused all week into?
Yeah, because you can't hide anymore. Go back in the late 90s, early 2000s, you can hide stuff from your team and say, well, but everything now is out there, right? And back then they would have to, check their record, whenever the internet came out and all that stuff. But now everything's available to you within, 1 second, a punch of a click of a button. So, they know their stats, they know where to shoot, and they know who's playing, who's hurt and all that. So, yeah, they're a team that's had some challenges here because of their injuries, but it's on the road, and I don't know if it's senior day for them or not. I know they have 1 more game after that, but and he's a talented player, and they've got some guys who can make some shots. They had a football player make 2 threes against us here, right? We were up big, and they cut it to. Did they cut it to 3?
They got 3.
1 point, yeah,
We came back.
and then 1 by. Yeah. So, yeah. Nick was supposed to answer that. I threw that to Nick, but yeah. Nick said we played him. Just kidding, Nick. Nick's the best. Nick's the best. He's good people. Yeah, we did, Nick. Played him in January. I was there.
So on Saturday, you get out to this great start.
Yeah.
And it seems like your team kind of trends. They get off to a great start. Team comes back. Maybe that's just college basketball. I
Right.
don't know. But it sounds like a simplistic question, but how important is it for your teams to get off to start something?
Very big. I think it builds confidence early, relaxes you. You're playing not from behind early, so I think it's really huge, especially for our team. I think we have been better when we've gotten off to good starts, at least being equal or a few points up early. And it allowed us our rotations as coaches to bring people in at different opportunities when you have that. So that is really big for us.
With Lavelle and Ryan, maybe even more so Lavelle, are you encouraging them to just, hey, look for your shot, try to get your shot, maybe even early in the shot clock?
Yeah, because they have shot the ball well, especially Lavelle. Teams that played zone have allowed him to be open right around the free throw area. He's pretty good from there, and they keep leaving him open there. I would bet he's probably 65% or better in that area. And so he has been good there and good for us against teams that played zone. So, yes, that shot early is sometimes better than a contested or a further shot out late. So that's been good for us.
What do you think happened with defense in the second half? Do you think offense was just having such a great game that they were a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And then in the second half, they went smaller. They started the game with 2 6'11" players, and they took one out in the second half and played with a 6'3" guard instead. So for us, that meant Lavelle, Ryan, Keaton, or one of our who's more accustomed to playing a taller player who doesn't drive it on them, happened in the second half. So they spread us out a little more, and they had some driving lanes, and they got their shoulder past our hips and got to the rim and got some scores, and it gave them some confidence, and they made some shots. And then I think we looked at the scoreboard a little bit, and our guys were confident at that time, well, we're going to win this game. And me, I'm screaming and yelling in timeouts. I mean, they've cut the lead down. We've got to get tighter now, and we did eventually, and made a big basket when we needed to and got a stop. But I give the credit to them because they adjusted their lineup and it took advantage of us.
That can be such a dangerous mentality, kind of when you're talking about the 2-goal lead.
Yeah.
How do you change that when you're taking on better opponents?
And I think that comes from our team. Again, they see the rankings of a team or where they're at in the standings and know that maybe it's a little bit more of a challenge and that their personnel is a little bit more tougher for us to defend. And then, we've got to keep reminding, it doesn't matter who you play. It doesn't matter what's on their uniform, what their record is. I mean, yesterday was somebody. Oh, well, the New York Knicks. I mean, they haven't won a home game in Madison Square Garden since when, right? Yeah, and a good Spurs team who's in the playoffs, and they win yesterday. So, as you all know, on any given night, and that just comes from maturity, and hopefully the Lavelle and Purvis and Ryan's, can convey that to the team. And I thought they did that at times on Saturday that helped us maintain the lead and eventually win.
I think last week you mentioned you weren't too happy with your late game execution in that loss to UNLV, yet you pull out a tight win at Fresno State. So did you see kind of a marked improvement from your team?
Did. Really good question. Really good question. We went through the scenarios we had at UNLV. I mean, we drew up a play, and we had 5 guys on the floor and where they were supposed to be, and we came out of the huddle, and they went to different 5 spots. I mean, wow. But they were consistent, all 5 with the different spots, so that was good. It wasn't just 1 or 2. I give them credit for that. That was good. That was really good. They all figured it out and went different, right? And but we went through that in practice and changed that. And then against Fresno State, we did execute well at the end. And I know we had to make some free throws, but we inbounded the ball. We broke pressure. We got it to guys. We got it up the floor. So that was a credit to them, taking from what we did in practice and executing the game. And I thought we grew. I thought we really did grow from that.
And you also mentioned that usually when you have 3 or 4 guys contributing, scoring double figures, you're doing much better. In the 2 wins you had, at least 3 or 4 guys contributing. So from just the coaching standpoint, I mean, what do you see and how much the offense, I guess, works better in that sense?
Caleb Morris made some threes. He had 5 against Fresno, and he had 5 against San Jose. And he shot the ball pretty well. Chris Joyce was double figures. A.J. Walker, as a freshman on Saturday, had 10 assists and 0 turnovers. That's a pretty good game. That was – and we played UNLV in the game before that. Their senior guard had 10 assists and 0 turnovers. And watching the game, scouting it, I said, wow, that's a great night. That's really something. Then our guy does it, 2 games later. But if we can put multiple players on the floor that can give us double-figure scoring, balances our scoring out, obviously gives us an opportunity to score more points, and it takes pressure off the other guys who've been consistent. So that was really huge for us, and we need to continue to do that.
And how much do you think the Red Lobster the day before helped in the win?
Well, to be honest with you, our flight was delayed twice, and Red Lobster closed on us. They wouldn't let us in, so they shut their doors. So because we were supposed to be there by 10 o'clock, and we didn't land and get there in time, so we went to BJ's and ate there. And I don't think we had dinner till like 11 at night, somewhere around there. It didn't stop Nick though; he was still hungry at 11 o'clock at night. I think he was eating dinner and his snack together, which is good, Nick. It was just good. But yeah, so and the guys were disappointed because they wanted the rolls at Red Lobster or the and then they had the lobster feast ordered and everything. But our flight was delayed in Denver, we didn't get there in time. And then after the game, we wanted ice cream. There was an ice cream parlor, an old-fashioned ice cream parlor across from our hotel, and we were going to bring 25 people over to get ice cream, and they wouldn't stay open an extra 20 minutes to let us get ice cream. I was a little disappointed. So the hospitality in Fresno was not real good there that weekend. I'm a little disappointed about that. And we didn't get Red Lobster, and we didn't get our ice cream. But we did get the win, so I guess we'll take that. It is more important.